Mitchell Douglas is an associate professor of English at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. His debut collection, Cooling Board, a long-playing poem, was nominated for a 2010 NAACP Image Award and a 2010 Hurston Wright Legacy Award. His second poetry collection, Black Alphabet, winner of the 2011 Lexi Rudnitsky Editor's Choice Award, was published in February 2013. His poems have appeared in Callaloo, Crab Orchard Review, Ninth Letter, and the anthologies The Ringing Ear, Black Poets Lean South, and Resisting Arrest, Poems to Stretch the Sky, among others. He's a Cave Canem graduate and co-founder of the Affrilachian Poets. His third collection of poems, Dying in the Scarecrow's Arms, was published in the spring of 2018, which in many ways seems like it was decades ago, given all that's happened since. What's most striking about his most recent book, and to me what's saddest about it, is that nearly everything in it remains incredibly timely. He was in the midst of writing another collection when, in his words, the voices of Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, and Eric Garner spoke to him. As a result, he felt he had no choice but to put the other poems down and devote his time to this new project, which became Dying in the Scarecrow's Arms. You hear those voices when you read this work, and you come face to face with a searingly brutal legacy of Jim Crow, while you also feel the terrible tensions between the expectations of a post-racial America and the stark realities of our current world. But hovering above it all are other voices and other spirits, among those of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Ahmaud Arbery, three murdered human beings who make up only the most devastatingly recent members that come to mind of what is a long and bitterly painful list. I wish it weren't so. I wish Dying in the Scarecrow's Arms had been written about a troubled and troubling period in our nation's past. That it wasn't, that it isn't, that it remains so terribly timely is all the more reason we're lucky to have Mitchell Douglas with us tonight, as his poetry speaks to our current moment in ways that few writers' works ever do. And with that, I welcome Mitchell, and I'm sure all of you do as well.
Paul mentioned that this book, Dying in the Scarecrow's Arms, was a project that wasn't really supposed to happen. And I started, I was working on a book about kind of an historical poetry book about a period of music that's important. And I'm still working on that, kind of going back to it and thinking about it. But Tamir Rice broke my heart. Sandra Bland was, looking at Sandra Bland was like, I feel like I'm seeing somebody in my family or I went to school with, and this is what's happening to her. And I had to write this book. Dying in the Scarecrow's Arms actually is a line from a Robert Hayden poem, but I felt like it was a metaphor for the Midwest, right? This is where I am now, kind of outside of, Kentucky and Indiana, back to the Midwest. And what does that mean? So the book starts with a quote from Etheridge Knight, who coincidentally, of course, is a poet that was born in the South, but very much became a part of Indianapolis. This quote leads into the first poem, Loosies, which is about Eric Garner. And the quote is, like putting a match in my mouth and striking the cigarette. Etheridge Knight. Loosies. Right now, I shouldn't be the cigarette dangling from the mouth of the man you will ride like a derby horse to roses. His name, Eric, your bloodline, Pantaleo. Fuck persona, calculated throat clutch, note control. How can I mimic and sing through scream? For you, this is fantasy, the pony you've always wanted, a story to share in the squad room when the day is done and men of power fall into territorial pissing. Yes, he is bigger. Are you frightened? Yes, he is a man. Does the mass make him less? Is the story spinning your gears? Do you dream of besting the thin blue with one that didn't get away? This is sport to you. The choke, grip, and spin. No applause, but you hold on. Count seconds like cowboys do. Cigarettes, was it? I think I know the way this works, the hope and crash. Just bear witness, say the words. A man with a wife and kids is dead over Loosies. And suddenly, the centuries, 17th and 21st, have burns to share. Also, so this poem is called Abandon, and it starts with the inscription 121, 2011, Lyrae Van Cleef Stephanon. And as she signs, she crosses her name out. For Debbie, joy and blessings. Inscription, an open interval. Debbie is not open to poetry. Her friend is mistaken. She takes the gift with a smile, promises to read every line her friend suggests. Andromeda, Ithaca, good so far. She is wrong. She does like poetry. So does he. They meet when Debbie opens interval at a campus coffee shop, the one where the line should warrant better brew. She nods, feigns interest in his story of an MFA, wanting to be a professor, an author. It's nice and all, but can't he see she's reading? And anyway, who goes in on career goals 5 minutes after hello? What would Lyrae say? Sitting with Matisse, unpacking flesh and outline. Well, something about him said Matisse, not the man, the process. His fade and focus like the pink nude. Abstract, realist, abstract, realist, before settling on the weathered hip. What words would a poet string to spit shine's soft pickup lines? Debbie sinks into the pages, leaves in such a spark the book is abandoned. He attempts to read the poems, wonders if he can be an author after all, swears he will give Debbie the book back the next time he sees her, sells it for cash instead.